Good evening, sports fans. Welcome to League 1, Season 16, Week 5. Doubleheader for you this evening. Later on, it's going to be Cincinnati at Navy. Right now, it's Georgia Tech at Syracuse. We're going to take a look at the Yellow Jackets team with the head coach of the Syracuse Orange, Coach Spectre. Coach.
Good evening, frequent and first-time fans. Going to give you an inside look at the 1990 national champions. Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets led by a athletic sophomore quarterback. He's a good fit for their academy-style offense. Very athletic and an 81 sophomore. So while he may only be an 81, he's a good fit and could break out a couple of runs. Halfback led by Jordan Ponchez Mason. Now, Ponchez Mason has been in the Heisman race a couple of times, mainly last season when he ran for over 2,000 yards rushing. This is a stud that we are going to focus on a good amount of our energy. Thomas will see the field plenty. He is, in fact, also an impact player. He will get some carries. And could benefit because the defense will be focused on Ponchez Mason. We will give them Thomas in exchange for Ponchez Mason. The fullback in this particular offense does get carries. This one a little bit above average in athleticism, which may impact him in a positive light. He may punch a little bit above 76, might be more like an 80 or an 81. And the wide receiver core has a burner in Greg Lundy, who may get behind the defense on some surprise passing plays. This is a team that's 5th in the nation in running and 120th in passing. They're an academy offense. They would rather run, but they could run, and then try to go over the top with Lundy. He could get a couple of big gains. We're willing to give that up to bottle up the running attack. Tight end, neither one used that much. They've only got a handful of catches, less than a handful between the two of them this year. The offensive line, I would add about 2 points to each of these offensive linemen because on the average, they are better at run blocking than pass blocking. They are well suited to what Georgia Tech likes to do. An 81 at left, an 87 senior left guard. Their best offensive lineman by far, Larry Blair, an outstanding 96 center who should be the focal point of their offensive line. An 84 junior right guard and an 83 senior right tackle, and in particular the right guard and right tackle, both particularly good at run blocking. Defensive end, an excellent 88 left end junior with good speed and good strength. He might prevent some scrambling out to the right. On the right side, on the left side of the screen, the right end, Cortez Alston, a great run stuffing defensive end, could bottleneck our run to the left. Defensive tackle, a weakness of the defense, an 82 senior, nothing to write home about. But a 78 sophomore shows little promise. He may punch above his weight if they go with 4 down linemen. The left outside linebacker, the weakest player in their starting 24, 22, 11 on each side of the ball, plus the kicker and the punter. The weakest player who will see action on the field, and yet, as a true freshman 70, he is an impact player. He's been punching above his weight all season. He's got excellent acceleration. We'll see if he can continue to be in the right place at the right time today. Middle linebacker, just the next man up as far as the next worst player. Left outside and middle linebacker, the weakness of their entire team. But the right outside linebacker, as an 89 senior, helps to make up for that, and combined with that run-stuffing right end, may make the left side of the screen, the right side of their defense, much more difficult than the left side of the screen. Their best players on the roster, besides Ponchez Mason, Brown, and Bonds, the 2 corners, the killer bee defense on the secondary. Free safety, Darius Jackson is an 82 junior with excellent speed but lacking in awareness. Similar to the left outside linebacker, if he's in the right place, he can make a play. The question is, will he be in the right place? Strong safety, an excellent player on a hot streak, an 89 strong safety senior with excellent awareness. He will be a playmaker on defense and certainly be a good support for them on our right side runs. Kicker and punter, both true freshman 72s. Special teams, not a concern, possibly not a weakness. They've got very little experience, very little examples to look at. So this is a team built to do what they want to do, with a couple of weaknesses and a couple of excellent players. Their academy offense may slow the game down. It may make it a little bit closer than it maybe should be. It is a definition of a trap game. This is a team that if we make too many mistakes, they could take advantage because they are well positioned to punch above their weight based on their players being good at what they like to do. So a dangerous team, one not to be taken lightly. We're going to come into this as if we were playing Notre Dame and hope that the results go our way. We'll turn it over to the voice of Syracuse football, Coach Ninja. He'll give you the play-by-play for this game one of our doubleheader. Following that will be Cincinnati at Navy, where I will do the broadcasting for the midshipmen. That will follow shortly after the culmination of this game. We thank you for joining us tonight. We hope you enjoy it. And with that, let's get started.
Doesn't have visual. I'm trying to confirm with my brother because everything I've got says we're fine. My brother doesn't seem to have seen it. Nope. But let me see something. Yeah, no, I see it. I see it here on my phone. So, yeah. All right, we're good to go. All right, as you see, the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets, 90 on offense, 88 on defense. They're a well-rated defense, and that offense is very, very good at what they like to do. As you can see, Georgia Tech, very, very good on the ground. They haven't translated it into wins yet, but also an excellent passing defense and excellent total defense. They're 7th in the country. On the flip side, the Syracuse Orange have an excellent defense as well and a powerhouse offense. Scott Daniels, a defensive tackle, 4-star recruit, coming to visit this week at the Carrier Dome. Tanavasa, Bavaro, and Metcalf, the leading players for the Orange. And Blair, Punchez, Mason, and Brown leading the way for the Yellow Jackets. Right tackle Powell is out this game. That could affect their running game a little bit, as their right tackle is excellent. But he's going to be replaced by someone who I believe is a center as their next man up.
Innovation that excites. If you are of the defensive persuasion, this game is right in your wheelhouse. Linebackers and safeties want to come downhill, get involved in the running game, and stick their faces in the fan. I'm glad
It is one of the most storied legacies in the history of college football.
I started my coaching career, I had a dream. And every decision that I made, that I will be the head football coach at Syracuse University. Undefeated, untied.
1959 national champions.
Syracuse has scored an undefeated season, and the team carries Ben Schwartzwalder off the field.
It's going to be the greatest victory that you kids have ever had.
Dozens of the most prolific and impactful players in the game. The first African American to win the Heisman Trophy. 6 members of the Pro Football Hall of Fame. 53 All-America selections.
We need to make this place the hardest place to play in the country. We need you, we need everyone. This is our state, our town, our team, and we gotta win now. Go Orange!
Spanning more than 10 successful seasons and covering the country from California, Ohio, North Carolina, and Virginia. This is League One NCAA football.
Don't you let anyone steal history away from you.
Since 1889, this is Syracuse football.
Yellow Jackets win the toss and defer. A short kick and a short return mean that the Orange are going to start on their own 16-yard line.
You're going to move the football down the field.
So here comes the offense taking the field for the first time today.
Tanivasa comes out in a shotgun, looks normal.
He's scrambling.
And he scrambles out for a 14-yard gain, scrambling out to the right. Looked like a 3-3-5 stack defense there, and he managed to reach the right flat. And move out of the shadow of the goalposts, now on their own 30-yard line.
We've got a 1st and 10. Ball on their own 30.
Shotgun normal halfback weak, a read option this time. And he gets stood up by the defense, but it looks like he gets over the line. It's going to be 1st and 10 now from the 40. I pronounce it Doskval. That is how I pronounce that word. 5 wide receivers against what looks like a 3-3 again. Tanuvasa scrambles, and he gets hit in the flat and does a good job to slide around, get 3 yards instead of 1, tackled in the flat.
He needs to be a lot more careful out there.
Second down, 7 yards to go.
2nd and 7 now. It's a shotgun ace. Allworth comes in motion from left to right. Tarkenton holds on to it and has a 0-yard gain. Third and 7 now. Tanuvasa returns to the field. 5 wide receivers. 3 down linemen. Looks like 3 linebackers as well. Tanuvasa waits. And the ball is off target for the first pass. But the defender doesn't turn, can't make a play on the ball. So it's going to be a punt here from their own 43.
Knight awaits the snap.
That's a fantastic punt, and it gets down at the 5-yard line. Just a fantastic punt and a fantastic defensive play there by Mayhew to down it at the 5.
The quarterback leads the team out on the field for the first drive.
Howard in the back, Ponchez Mason on the left. Ponchez Mason comes in motion, and he gets the pitch. He breaks a tackle, but that's a 9-yard run on the pitch to Jordan Ponchez Mason. And we've already begun to see that academy-style offense that the Yellow Jackets are known for. Ponchez Mason again in motion. This time the quarterback keeps it and slips up the middle for 3 yards and a first down by Antonio Collier. This time they come out in the flex bone. It's instead of the unbalanced bone, and they hand it off direct to Jerry Howard, the fullback, who gets tackled immediately. It's a 0-yard gain by Howard. 3 plays so far for the Yellow Jackets, 3 runs, all of them motion, all of them options. Remaining in the flex bone, 2 halfbacks, 1 fullback, 2 wide receivers. Once again, Howard getting the handoff up the middle for 3 on second down, or is going to make it 3rd and 7. A chance for the defense now. And a fantastic pick by Porter and great blocking by the other defenders in the area. Just a great play by Porter. A fantastic defensive score there by Tracy Porter for the pick 6. The defense doing a good job to put Georgia Tech into a passing situation. It's not their forte, as you saw before the game in their stat line, 120th in the country in passing. And they put it up to a receiver in double coverage, and it gets taken away and returned to the end zone. So far, The best offense in this game, halfway through the first quarter, has been the Syracuse defense.
It sure is, Brad. They are off to a great start in that opening series. Let's see how they play here. Again, trying to just set the tone here early in this game on this next series.
It's going to be interesting now to see if this quarterback can put that last throw behind him.
And once again, the Yellow Jackets come out with 4 backs, and they get it to the outside to Ponchez Mason. Sorry, no, Philip Thomas for the 20-yard rush on the pitch.
The pitch there was able to get the first down. It's a nice option play.
From their own 45-yard line, first down.
Ponchez Mason on the right, Thomas on the left. Handoff is to Howard, the fullback. He gets 3 yards.
Comes away with about 4 there on the option play.
Two halfbacks, a fullback, 1 wide receiver, 1 tight end this time, as you see an unbalanced formation with the tight end on the line on the left there. And it's another pitch to Ponchez Mason, and he goes up the seam for a 12-yard gain.
That's not everyday speed you're talking about with this guy. This is a unique burst combined with a really impressive field vision.
From the 39-yard line, first down.
And it's a motion counter play, and it gets read by the defense, and number 91 comes through to tackle the quarterback for a loss.
It's second down and 11 to go. Ball on the 40-yard line.
Jerry Howard breaking all of the tackles and falling all forward.
Don't get me wrong, the offense is doing a nice job with first downs and they're executing well, but the defense is letting them maintain
it's about
possession and
a
move the
360.
ball right down the field. They've got to try to change things up with their scheme. Be more aggressive, attack, do some things to change it up, take some risks.
From the 25-yard line, it's first down.
Quarterback keeper pitch to Ponchez Mason. Again, he gets forced out of bounds after a 7-yard gain.
The 19-yard line.
That'll bring up second and 3.
Ponchez Mason on the left, tight end on the right. And it's a handoff to the to Tyler Perez, I believe is the second fullback. I'm sorry? Yeah. That's a great tackle there. And it's now 3rd and short.
Here's the 8th play of the series. They're crowding that line of scrimmage.
And it's a flex bone with wide receivers tight. And Howard gets the ball, and it's a 0-yard gain. It's going to be 4th and 1 now. And the Yellow Jackets send out the kicking unit. Fourth and 1, always wary of the fake. Hopefully it's better than the fake punt attempted by the Denver Broncos last night. And the kick goes wide left. That's going to be a turnover on downs.
Number 22. Here are two teams that hate each other 365 days a year. And today was no different. The Seminoles claim the W, 38-14.
Thanks, Reese. 7-0 game here. Well, the guys are chomping at the bit down there, waiting for the game to start back up.
5 wide receivers now for the Orange after they escape with a missed field goal. Throw to Allworth this time is on target, and he has a couple of steps there on the defender, so he runs upfield for 24 yards. That's the first completion of the game for Tommy Tanuvasa, after the bulk of their first drive coming on the ground, just like the bulk of Georgia Tech's yards are on the ground. Now it's a shotgun split big, 2 tight ends, 2 halfbacks, wide receiver right side of the field. It's a quarterback keeper, and he's got all kinds of space. There's a defender, but he can't get there in time. That's just a huge run for the touchdown for Tommy Tanuvasa. Garrett takes the knee, and once again, the Georgia Tech offense is going to take the field. Starting again on their own 25.
They missed a chance at 3 points on their last drive.
And returning to the flex bone. Pontius Mason in motion, handoff to Howard, and he's stopped in the middle at no gain.
Second and 10. Ball on the 25.
Thomas in motion this time. Another handoff to Howard. He breaks a couple of tackles and gets tackled from behind. Great effort there to stop him at 3rd and inches now.
It's 3rd down, and they're about the length of the football.
And it's a goal line set that comes out to face the flex bone here. On 3rd and inches as Georgia Tech waits and gets overwhelmed. Howard loses a yard, and that's going to be a forced punt. And I believe that's a 3 and out, since they started on our own 25-yard line. Schumacher underneath it, and no return there.
Yeah, when you play a team like this that you know you're physically better than, you just leave no doubt. Take control of the game early and try to dominate, and that's what we've seen. It's early in this game, so the defense can still have an opportunity to make some adjustments.
It's a shotgun split big. You saw a big run the last time this play came out. This time it's a pass to Metcalf out of the backfield. He gets a 6-yard gain and gets stood up to end the first quarter.
I don't think we're going to be seeing much of a change in the outcome. 14-0, Syracuse. Back to the action now here in the second quarter.
2nd and 4. 3 down linemen, but it might be a 4-3 with a glitch, although it might be a 3-4 here from the defense. And the handoff is to Metcalf. He goes up the middle and he gets 2. That starts the clock on the second quarter.
It's 3rd down, and they're about 2 yards shy of the sticks.
And the Orange come out in an I formation on 3rd and 2. And they hand off to Metcalf, who gets met after 4 yards are gained to get the first down.
Coach in the world who wouldn't be happy with getting 5 yards of carry.
It's a shotgun split. This time 3 wide receivers, no tight ends. Quarterback pitches it to Metcalf in the backfield. Gets a 0-yard gain as one of the corners peels off a wide receiver.
Second down, 10 yards to go. Ball on the 36-yard line.
2nd and 10, shotgun halfback weak. It's another 3-4. Tanuvasa waits for Metcalf, who spins around the closing defender to get 16 yards on a 6-yard pass.
From the 48-yard line. First down.
The Orange now in a flex bone of their own. Schumacher motions from left to right. Tanuvasa keeps it and gets an 8-yard gain, running off tackle to the right.
It's 2nd down, and they're about 2 yards away from the sticks.
Pistol now. 3 down linemen, the middle linebacker very close to the line of scrimmage. Tanuvasa scrambles out, chased by a bear, throws the ball away on 2nd and short. It's going to be 3rd and short.
This is the 8th play of this drive.
And once again, they come out in the I. It's a 4-3 defense this time. Handoff is to Wk5, the fullback, and it goes for no gain. It's going to be 4th and 2 from the opponent's 40. Going to take a quick look at their leg. Limited amount of 4th downs in this league, so the question is, appears to be between a punt and a 57-yard field goal. It's a calm day here inside the Carrier Dome, and it is a straight shot from the middle of the field.
They just didn't get the snap off in time. Here's the call.
And that's a delay of game. And that's going to force the punt as it moves it back 5 yards to a 62-yard field goal. That's a good punt. It hits 10-yard line. The question is did it go right or left of the pylon? That's a big difference. Yes, it went out of bounds at the 2-yard line. That's a difference of 18 yards of field position. And it puts the Yellow Jackets right up against the end zone. Thomas in motion. And he's tackled for loss. It's 2nd and 11, they call it. It's not a safety, they call it a tackle just short. 2nd and 11 now. And that is really just inches from the end zone. Thomas in motion again. And Jerry Howard this time gets better blocking, gets outside, gets 8 yards before being tackled out of bounds. It's now 3rd and 3.
They need about 3 yards to get the first down here on 3rd down.
Thomas out on the line this time as a wide receiver as Collier gets wrapped up and sacked. That's a great sack there. And it's going to force the punt on really the second effort.
Another one bites the dust. Another one bites the dust. And another one gone. Another one gone. Another one bites the dust. Hey, we're gonna get to do. Another one bites the dust. Shoot up.
Schumacher underneath it at midfield. Crosses the stripe. And can't get around. It's a 10-yard gain, but great field position on the opponent's 42-yard line. They just punted from their opponent's 40-yard line. So, in the grand scheme of things, a loss of 2 yards for a new set of downs, you take that.
First quarter, but I wouldn't be surprised if things changed in a big way before halftime.
Tanuvasa out in the flex bone. And it's a pass look, but he scrambles, and he gets met after he crosses the line of scrimmage for a 10-yard gain. Sorry, the line of first down marker. Sorry. I'm kind of surprised it's not called a line of something. That term isn't used because it's the line of conversion, like line of scrimmage. Yeah, no, it doesn't sound as good as line of scrimmage or line of control, but that's a thing in Kashmir.
32-yard line.
Shotgun normal, halfback weak. It's a 3-3-5 with the defense standing off a bit. It's a handoff to Metcalf out of the backfield, and number 13 comes in and has a great run block on the safety to really add a couple of yards there. Great run blocking downfield by the wide receiver on that play.
It's 2nd Second down now. They're just a few feet away.
Second and short now. Every coach's favorite down and distance. We've got a tight end and a fullback playing on the wing on the right, and the halfback offset on the right. But it's a passing play to Bavaro, the tight end, coming in a drag for a 4-yard gain. Bavaro's first catch of the game, and now, after starting 8 yards into enemy territory, Tommy Tanavasan and the Orange are already
It's first down.
in the red zone. They come out in the eye. Looks like a 4-3, maybe a 4-4 defense here. And they hand off to Metcalf,
He makes it to the 18-yard
who gets
line.
tackled as he follows the fullback and the left tackle. And defense comes around the edge. Second and 9 now from the 18.
We've got a second and 9 here. Ball on the 18-yard line.
It's a quarterback keeper. And he gets an 11-yard gain on the read option. Tommy Tanavasa, his 7 rushes for 112 yards, being the main motor of this Syracuse offense so far this game.
First down, and they've got their eyes on
And the source of one of their touchdowns, their only offensive touchdown so far, as we're now under 2 minutes to go in the half with a live clock. It's play action, and Tanuvasa can't get the ball away. He's sacked for a loss of 5.
Quarterback gets hit like that. Don't be surprised to see the old coach get on his lineman to protect the quarterback a little bit better.
Second and goal now from the 12 after the sack. The sack causes the ball to keep moving. Just over a minute remain in the game. It's second and goal from the 12.
second down and goal.
5 wide receivers.
A quarterback in the gun.
Metcalf, the halfback, in the right slot. And it's a drag to Metcalf, who has a great spin move to turn a 2-yard gain into an 11-yard gain. It is third and goal from the 1. Really the 1/2. And keeping the ball in bounds, the clock is still moving. Under 30 seconds remain in the half now.
And this is the 8th play of the drive.
Shotgun, split, offset.
Syracuse.
And Syracuse calls a timeout. 8 seconds to go in the half.
The defense backed up into their own end zone. It's third and goal from the 1.
And they come back out. Same formation. And it's a handoff to Metcalf. And he gets tackled at the line and spins in.
When the East is in the house.
Oh my God.
Danger. When the East is in the house.
Oh my God.
When the East is in the house.
Oh my God.
Danger. When the East is in the house.
Oh my God.
When the East is in the house.
Oh my God.
Danger. When the East is in the house.
Oh my God.
When the East is in the house.
Oh my God.
Danger. When the East is in the house.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
ticks left on the clock before halftime. I would expect he'll
And Knight puts his leg through it. No chance there for Ponchez Mason to get the return. He takes the knee. Georgia Tech's got 5 seconds and 3 timeouts. And looks like they're going to send the Flexbone out onto the field for one play.
Second quarter. We've got a lot of football left, but I got to say, this one is teetering on the brink of a blowout.
And they hand it off to Howard, who gets stopped, and that's going to be the half.
And that's going to do it for the first half, and they're just trying to keep this thing close. 21-0, Orange.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the EA Sports Halftime Show. Along with David Pollack, I'm Reese Davis. David, both of these coaches came in, solid game plans as you would expect, seemed to spend most of the first half sort of feeling each other out.
And we see it every single week. You don't want to make mistakes early, but sometimes you do, and you have to bounce back. And I think when you look forward to this second half, these coaches, they've put themselves in a position where they're in the game. Now they have to go out and make plays. They've seen what both coaching staffs want to do to their defense, to their offense. Now they have to go out and execute in the second half and play well.
And let's see which coach has the, shall we say, intestinal fortitude to be bold first.
All right, a quick look at your halftime stats here. As you can see, it is 21-0. First downs are 8-4. Not a whole lot of total offense. 85 for Georgia Tech and 185 for Syracuse. All 85 of those are on the ground for Georgia Tech, and 124 of them are on the ground for Syracuse. That's 16 rushing attempts and another 7 passing attempts means only 23 plays on offense for Syracuse in the half. That's barely more plays than they've got points. On the other hand, you can see 20 plays for Georgia Tech. Also, quite low, but really not a whole lot to speak of. Both teams attempting 4 third downs. Syracuse making 2 of them. Georgia Tech making none. There was 1 turnover. It was a pick 6. And that is a big reason for the game being the 3-score game that it is. Time of possession, 6.5 minutes to, 6 2/3 minutes to 9 1/3. Tommy Tanuvasa, 5 for 7, 61 yards, 71% with a 12-yard average and 1 sack. It gets him a rating of 144.6. Collier has a rating of 0 because he's tried once and he threw a pick. And that was it. His only completed pass was to the other team. But it is on the ground where Georgia Tech make their money. Howard has had 11 attempts for 36 yards with a long of 13. Ponchez Mason only getting it 3 times, but he's gotten 28 yards and includes a long of 12. Collier, the quarterback, has 3 runs, although one of those is a sack. And Perez, the fullback, has gotten it once, the second fullback, I should say. And Thomas, the second halfback, has it once for a 20-yard gain. For Syracuse, Tanuvasa has 8 attempts for 107 yards and a touchdown. Metcalf follows that with 6 for 17, but those are a key 17, mixing up and really getting quite a number of first downs there on short yardage for Metcalf. Through the air, Metcalf also leads the way on as receivers, with Allworth with 1 for 24 and Bavaro for 1 for 4. Of course, receiving, there is no data for Georgia Tech as they have yet to complete a pass successfully to their own team. Defensively, Right outside linebacker Berry, which was highlighted before the game as really one of their best players, leads as a tackler. He's got one of the 3 tackles for losses as well. And on the Syracuse side of the ball, on defense, Edwards, Bailey, and Green each have 3 tackles. 2 of Green's are tackles for loss, and as you can see down here, it is Porter, the All-American junior corner, who has that 1 pick returned for 36 yards and a touch. Those are your halftime stats. As you can see here, it is a 3-score game, 21-0. Touchdowns by Porter, the interception, pick 6, and Tanuvasa on a 56-yard run, and Metcalf on a 1-yard run. We'll resume shortly with the second half. All right, and we resume with a kickoff to Georgia Tech to begin the third quarter.
Excellent kick.
Once again, Knight puts it deep, and Ponchez Mason takes a knee.
And it goes into the end zone, down for a touchback. Syracuse, the type of team, when you look at them, it looks like their defense sort of just feeds off itself.
I think the energy is there, Brad, but I think it really starts up front with their defensive line and their linebackers, the way they're being able to just win the battle at the line of scrimmage. I think it's giving them confidence, and it's allowing them to play more downhill where they can attack this offense.
There's got to be some sense of urgency to this offense right now. They don't have the luxury of wasting drives.
Unbalanced formation. Ponchez Mason on the right, handoff to Howard up the middle. It's a 3-yard gain. It's his 12th rush of the game.
From their own 28-yard line, it's second down.
Flexbone once again from the Yellow Jackets. Ponchez Mason in motion. He gets the pitch, and he gets tackled out in the flat after a 7-yard gain. It's 3rd and inches.
So it's 3rd down.
And the goal line formation comes out against the Flexbone, expecting the run here on 3rd and inches. And Collier can't escape the blitz. He can't get the pitch off. I'm sorry. He wanted the pitch to Ponchez Mason, although he was probably also going to be tied up in the backfield. That's going to force a punt. A 3-and-out to begin the second quarter. Great start. Sorry, second half. Great start there for the Orange defense.
So they're just about set to get the game going again.
Metcalf out of the backfield in the shotgun Y trips. He slips between some linebacker zones for a 9-yard gain. Second and short now. Every coach's favorite down and distance. Tanuvasa brings the orange out in the eye. A very typical second and short formation for the orange. They seem to like it this year. This time they only get a few feet. It's going to be 3rd and inches now, and they stay in the eye tight. 2 tight ends on either side. And it's a quarterback sneak, the Tom Brady, and that converts the first down. 1st and 10 now from their own 48.
From their own 48-yard line. First down.
Tanuvasa under center, scrambles out, spin moves around a defender in the flat, and that's a big 26-yard run and on the scramble. He flees the pocket when the defense breaks through, and the defender overcommits, and it takes the secondary to bring him down.
From the 24-yard line. First down.
Shotgun offset. Tanuvasa runs from the pocket. Linebacker comes in and does a great job to stop him after a 2-yard gain. Nothing there on that play. Tanuvasa happy to escape with a 2-yard gain. Although Tanuvasa still huffing oxygen on the sideline.
From the 21-yard line.
2nd and 8 now. Tanuvasa comes out in the eye once again. Play clock winding down. Scrambles out and can't get anything. There's a corner there on a blitz or a short zone, I'm not sure. And just nothing doing. Third and 12 now from the opponent's 25-yard line as Tanuvasa is even more winded on the sideline.
And here's another 3rd down.
3rd and 12 now. Play clock winding down just before the play. And Bavaro has a great stop and go to catch the throw on the run. It was underthrown by Tanuvasa, who was under pressure. Bavaro comes back for it and snatches it. It's a fantastic job there.
From the 11-yard line. It's first down.
1st and 10 now from the 10-yard line. There's about 4 inches of space between the first down marker and the end zone. As Tarkenton wastes time And Eric Metcalf, 11 yards and a touchdown on a waste time play. Really, it was a handoff to Metcalf to give Tommy Tanuvasa a break. And Metcalf goes 11 yards for the touchdown.
By the power of Grayskull. Cringer became the mighty Battle Cat, and I became He-Man, the most powerful man in the universe. Only 3 others share this secret.
Once again, Knight forces the touchback. This one's taken by Garrett.
Going to be down in the end zone for a touchback. The Yellow Jackets have just gone ice cold on offense. They can't seem to get anything going.
And right now, they just have to forget the score, forget the clock, just go out there and try to get a first down, try to hope to build a little bit more confidence and continuity on this offense.
I hope they show some fight here and try to stay competitive. If you're going to get blown out, you at least want to go down swinging.
An unbalanced bone. And Collier attempts to scramble out. He escapes some dangerous territory and ultimately gets a 2-yard gain. Although if it had broken free, it could have been a lot more. Great job to turn around and swallow him up. As they return to the flex bone, 2 wide receivers on the left. And he's hit as he throws, and it catapults that way into the sideline. That's the second passing attempt this game for Collier. It's 3rd and 8. There's a chance at another one right now. Champ Bailey gets a deflection in. Collier, 3 attempts, no completions, and it forces a punt down 28 points, but they're on their own 28-yard line. They're not going to risk the 4th down attempt at 4th and 8 on their own 28. Schumacher makes the catch, and he gets an 11-yard return. He's just shy of midfield. Once again, excellent field position to begin the drive for the Syracuse Orange. And they come out in the eye tight. There's 4 down linemen and another 5 guys in the box for the defense. It's a handoff to Metcalf, and with a good push by the offensive line, he gets 4 yards, but there isn't a gap for him to go through to get any farther. 2nd and 6 now from their own 44-yard line. They have 6 yards to go for a first down, and 6 yards to go to get onto the Yellow Jacket side of the field. Normally, you don't really want to be on the same field as a whole bunch of Yellow Jackets. But so far, Tommy Tanuvasa and the offense have been doing all right on the Yellow Jacket side of the field. 3rd and 2nd now.
So it's 3rd down, and they got about 2 yards to go.
Shotgun Y trips. 4 down linemen in an uneven formation. Metcalf changes course, and it gets him the first down. and into enemy territory. Metcalf, the halfback who lined up in the right slot, came in motion, but Tanuvasa kept it on the read option, and it's a first down. On the Georgia Tech 34-yard line now. Pistol set here. Bavaro on the drag from right to left. The defender is right behind him, and he's tackled for a 0-yard gain. And that ends the third quarter.
28-0, Syracuse.
Tanuvasa gets rid of the ball. It's an incompletion, so it's going to be 3rd and 10 now. Five wide receivers for the Orange. Good defensive coverage, but Tanuvasa, ooh, it looked like he had space, but he's shoestring tackled from behind. Gets 5 yards. It's 4th and 5 from the 29-yard line now. And it looks like coach is deciding to use. Oh no, looking at some plays, I guess. Getting the motion to put the kicker on the field. It's 4th and 5 and a field goal from the 29-yard line. And that's 31 points and a 45-plus yard field goal for Knight.
Knight has his kick team lined up, and he is set to kick this one off.
A surprisingly unbalanced game so far from the Orange. It is 27 rushes to 11 passes, more than double. Usually they're pretty balanced.
Good job against the run. They've been very physical. What I love is how relentless they run to the football.
And it'll be interesting to see how much fight this team has left in them. This has been a brutal game.
In a pistol here for Collier and the Yellow Jackets. And Howard in the flat is tackled for loss. That's a 4-yard loss, but it is Collier's first completion. At 7:05 in the fourth quarter. It's for his first completion and now has negative yards passing. 2nd and 14 now.
Ball on the 21-yard line.
The unbalanced Bone. And it is a pass, and it's Lundy. Gets delayed corner out and does a great job getting 34 yards. That is the most productive offensive plays so far. On that sort of bracket in and out route. That, I'll be honest, I really hate as a coach. I don't like it. I don't call it.
And the big pickup through the air has made it 1st and 10.
Collier under center. Ponches in motion, but it's a run fake. Sorry, it's a and Antonio Collier gets flushed from the pocket and sacked for a loss of 7.
Another one bites the dust. Another one bites the dust. And another one gone, and another one gone. Another one bites the dust. Yeah. Hey, we're gonna get to do. Another one bites the dust. Shoot up.
They find themselves in a hole here after that.
2nd and long. 3 wide receivers. Collier leaves the pocket, and he gets an 8-yard gain. He gets half of it back, but it's still going to be 3rd and long. As Collier really committed to that scramble very quickly.
Third down, and they need to get it down to the 35.
3rd and long here. And Collier takes another sack to bring it back to 4th and 17. And 4th and 17 on their own 48 is going to force a punt even down by this much.
After the sack, it's now 4th and long. Jackson is waiting for the snap.
And the punt
It's away, and it's a booming punt.
bounces into the end zone.
This punt goes over the goal line, and this will be a touchback.
And Syracuse are going to get the ball back with 5:15.
Nationally ranked defense to me.
Brad, I don't think they're playing with their normal focus that we've seen from this team. We've seen backs at times that are breaking open. Wide receivers are making plays over the top of defensive backs. They're just not as dialed in as they normally are.
The offense goes back out onto the field after picking up a field goal on their last drive.
They just seem like they've been in the end zone time and time again.
Shotgun, heavy on the right with a tight end and a fullback and a halfback, and Metcalf with a great 11-yard rush. He's up to the last man to stop him.
From their own 31-yard line. First down.
It's a shotgun ace now. Tight ends on the left and right side of the line. Metcalf in the backfield with Schumacher, in the backfield with Tommy Tanuvasa. As the clock ticks down, Tanuvasa waits, and Schumacher has to stop, turn around, and get to it in order to get the underthrown ball, but it's a 23-yard reception by Schumacher. As Tanuvasa has to throw across his body.
From the 46-yard line. First down.
Shotgun split offset. And Metcalf out of the backfield this time for 8 yards and an attack.
The 38-yard line.
Second and short now from the 38-yard line.
So it's second down and about 2 yards to go.
And it's a handoff to Metcalf. 5 yards and a first down.
This is the kind of steady, strong drive that coaches love to see. Right now, they're firing on all cylinders.
First and 10. Ball on the 33. Syracuse looking to put this game away if they score here.
And check down to Wk5 as Tommy Tanuvase is flushed from the pocket on the play-action pass, and it goes for 9 yards to Wk5. Great job by the fullback underneath.
Short yardage situation here. Second down and 1.
Second and 1 now. Handoff to Metcalf, a gap to run through. That's 5 yards and a first down.
This offense doesn't seem to be in much of a hurry. They're working the clock. You know the chances are they're going to run the football. That allows the defense to pin their ears back and get aggressive. It really comes down to the defensive linemen holding up against the offensive line and the linebackers and safeties crashing downhill and making plays against the run game.
Under 2 minutes remaining in the game. Pistol formation this time. And it's a pass to Bavaro. 8 yards on the drag route. Wide open there, running right to left. Second and 2 now from the 12. Just under a minute and a half.
It's second down, and they're about 2 yards away from the sticks. Just over a minute in the fourth quarter.
Once again, the pistol on second and short. And a handoff to Metcalf. And he's stopped after an 11-yard gain. It's first and goal now, I think, from probably the 1.
That's the 5th first down on this drive. You know, this offense isn't hitting a lot of big plays, but they're very, very consistent with their execution.
Touchdown-saving tackle there, but with less than a minute to go, not much remains in this football game.
We're at play number 9 of this current drive.
It's quarterback keeper. And Tanuvasa gets the touchdown.
Do it now, told you do it now. Let's go.
Tight one going on
Pickett's command of the passing game is impressive. He's already caused 2 touchdown passes. Pittsburgh's on top, 14-7. In other action, the Spartans were ranked number 17. Another W, and they hope another move up in the poll. This was a tight one to the very end. The Spartans take it by 5.
Thanks, Reese. 38-0 here.
And Georgia Tech gets the ball back with 27 seconds and 3 timeouts. We'll see what they want to do with it.
And it goes into the end zone, down for a touchback. Syracuse defense has just been awesome here in the fourth quarter.
The thing that's really stood out to me, Brad, is that when they've needed the stops, they've gotten it and gotten the football back to their own offense to put points up.
Late in the fourth quarter, this game has been a blowout for quite some time.
And Georgia Tech does come out in the flex bone. They give it to Howard, and he gets tripped up. And no one's calling a timeout here. It's 2nd and 3, and the clock is ticking down.
They need about 3 yards to get the first here on 2nd down.
Ooh. And that was a dangerous play there as he almost escaped. Great job by the defender to get off his blocker and stop him. It's unlikely they'll get the ball off in time, but we shall see. And that's game. And we have just witnessed a unicorn here. That is a shutout, an impressive defensive performance by the Orange, and Tanu Vasa really having to bring the offense along with him for the ride. 150 yards on the ground and 126 yards through the air for Tanu Vasa. And that's a fantastic game. And you can see right there, the play of the game, the pick 6 on just Georgia Tech's 2nd possession of the game. Yeah, after each team had punted once. That's what started the game on its downhill slide to shutout. At 38-0 was that pick 6. Fantastic game for the defense, Tanu Vasa and Metcalf. Really, it was a ground game on both sides as one team, their ground game succeeded. The other team, it did not. Two for 5 through the air, 0 for 7 on 3rd down. That is not a good performance. That's not what you want to see from your team. Thank you for joining us for the first of our doubleheader. An impressive defensive and ground performance from the Syracuse Orange and Travis Porter, our fantastic 36-yard pick six. Yeah, the two big plays in the first quarter, the 36-yard interception return and the 56-yard run, that changed the game, and that was really it from there. Coming up shortly after a quick break, it's going to be Cincinnati at Navy. Stay tuned.
Hello, sports fans, and welcome to the second game of our doubleheader. Tonight, Cincinnati at Navy in an American Conference matchup. The quarterback for Cincinnati, an 86 senior, slightly low awareness but exceptional agility and acceleration, could be a danger on the scramble. The running back, Jalen Green, one of the better players on offense, an impact player, an 88 halfback. Over the course of the season, he's averaging 112 yards a game rushing. Receiving, only a small factor in the passing game. But certainly, with over 100 yards rushing, a factor to take into account for the midshipman defense. The backup halfback, Tom Smith, contributing actually 58 yards a game rushing. So we could see a couple of dual halfback sets out of Cincinnati. We will await to see if that's the case. But Smith so far indicating that's a high possibility. The fullback, Scott Williams, not too much of an impact player, although he does get a great yards per carry and yards per game. Not utilized a whole lot more as a change of pace. Dangerous as such with the 85 speed and 92 acceleration. Not one to necessarily keep an eye on, but certainly one to watch for. Javon Hawes, the 83 wide receiver, the best passing threat for Cincinnati. He's averaging 32.7. Willie Horn has great speed, although his overall is lower. He's still averaging 50 yards a game. Third wide receiver is Wade, the 70 overall freshman. Not too much of a factor. Typically, it looks like two halfbacks and two wide receivers. At the tight end position, Wilson Huber, an 82 overall senior. He's got 10 catches for 95 yards. That is not an insignificant number for a tight end. Remember, this is where Travis Kelce went to school. Cincinnati likes their tight ends, and as such, Huber off to a great start. Offensive line from left to right across your radio dial, Tyrone Ford, an 81 senior left tackle. Gavin Thompson, a 75 sophomore. Justin Walker, an 85 senior at center. And Craig Carrington, indicating not a whole lot of strength at the guard position. Tackle Josh Sims at right tackle. So they've got a good left tackle and a good center. Weaknesses at the other offensive line positions. Jeremy Wilson out for several weeks beyond this. Bolden is a starter at middle linebacker, so it will be Spence. Claude Spence coming in and playing left end. He's got decent strength. He's young. Not a whole lot of speed. The scramble to the right could be an option for Navy, although he may play better against the run. Jermaine Johnson, the right end, an 83. At D tackle, Dan Amos and Chris McNair lining out the starting 11 for the Bearcats defense. Josh Wood, the 71 true sophomore. Not a whole lot of impressiveness at the athleticism. Not necessarily weak at that position, but the 49 awareness drags him down. He is young, doesn't have a lot of experience, could be exploited on a play-action pass to the right side of the field. Kyle Bolden, the 83 senior middle linebacker with 68 awareness, could be capable in the passing game, covering drag routes over the middle of the field. Jarrow White, the 87 star of the linebacking core, the right outside linebacker, an impact player, 87 overall with outstanding athleticism, could be dangerous on the pass rush, could be dangerous in coverage, but with 74 strength, potentially not necessarily dangerous against the run to the left side of the screen. At cornerback, Noah Hamlin leads the secondary as an 88. He's on a hot streak. He's got good awareness. He will make plays if challenged. Sowell and Horn round out the cornerback unit. Not necessarily impressive at cornerback 2 or nickel corner. Free safety, James Brooks, a 78 overall. He's got good athleticism, but not very high awareness at all. 60 awareness overall. Could be tricked on play-action plays. And at strong safety, Taylor Lee, even worse with 48 awareness. This is a secondary that's vulnerable to disguised and trick plays. They could be outmatched if Navy gets crafty. John Davis at kicker, and a solid 83 senior kicker. So far, 3 out of 5 on the season, but he has a leg. The punter, Ivan Buchanan. Buchanan, a weak punter, but that could lead to some short punts that might lead to some muffs, might lead to some good coverage on the punt return because they don't go that far. That rounds out the lineup for Cincinnati. Their better players are on offense. They have a couple of players on defense, but players who you can adjust to. It'll be interesting to see what the midshipmen have in store for them. Coach Ninja, an expert at taking into account the strengths and weaknesses of an opposing offense. We'll see how it shapes up. Navy set to take on Cincinnati at home at Navy Marine Corps Memorial Stadium imminently. You see there the overalls, 95 versus 83. Coach Ninja, an excellent recruiter. He's been building up Navy for a few seasons now. We're in season 16, week 5 of League 1. Coach Ninja has been the coach of the midshipmen now for 5 seasons. This is his 5th season, and he has built up the roster as best as he can to try to give a balanced offense and a balanced defense. We'll see how they take on the Bearcats of Cincinnati, a team that Navy has not played that often. They're in the opposite division, in the Eastern Division of the American Conference. This is the second game of American Conference play. Navy having lost last week in an upset loss against Marshall University, the Thundering Herd eking out a close victory over Navy. The midshipmen are looking to respond, bounce back, and begin to try to take control of the American Conference Western Division. You see the injury there to Wilson at left end. You see the numbers here. Navy, a better passing team this year than rushing so far, but only 3 games in the standings as a sample size. It's a small sample size. Looks like it's a clear day here at Navy Marine Corps Memorial Stadium. The midshipmen set to host the Cincinnati Bearcats in this exciting American Conference game. See there, they're in the early going. Marshall on the back of that win over Navy, taking the 1-0 record in conference play. The Blue Angels sending a paratrooper down onto the field, and the cannons are blaring. Your United States Naval Academy, ready to host this exciting football affair. Dusk settling upon the city/town of Annapolis. Sailboats off in the bay. as Canoe U takes on the Bearcats of Cincinnati. Cincinnati's going to get the kickoff to start the game. Navy will receive to start the second half. That's just what Coach Ninja likes. Here we are, underway in Annapolis. Into the checkerboard it goes, out of the back of the end zone, beyond the end line. No chance for a return, and Cincinnati will take over at their own 25 to start the football game. Cincinnati showing 3 wide receivers in the huddle. Navy responding with 3 down linemen. Back to pass goes the quarterback, hits the sideline route, and A.J. Wade dives out of bounds and picks up 3. He had to stretch for that pass, but he's able to get the completion. Now 2nd and 7 at the 28. Single back set, man in motion left to right. Cincinnati drops back, looks, surveys the field, and throws. It is incomplete. It was complete in his hands, but he had to dive clearly out of bounds to make the reception. That's going to be 3rd and long. Opening drive of the football game here in Annapolis. Single tight end. Cincinnati back to pass. Surveys. Flings it deep on the corner route to the right, and Willie Horn makes the 25-yard catch. That's going to be a conversion into Navy territory for the Bearcats here on the opening drive of the football game. They're going to go no huddle. They've got a pistol set. Strong to the left side, but a man in motion left to right. Gives to the fullback on the play, and Scott Williams picks up 4. Now going to be 2nd and 6. We've crossed the midfield stripe. Strong to the left, run to the left, through the A gap goes Green. He picks up 4. Going to be 3rd and short. It's a testing play for both teams here in the early going. Bearcats with the no huddle. Quarterback under center, fullback dive up the gut, and Wilson picks up enough for the first down and then some. 11 yards on the carry. Going to put Cincinnati squarely into scoring distance. They're inside Navy's 30.
Right now, this offensive coordinator has to be really happy with the way this offense is executing.
It's a mistake by the offense. Quarterback looked to hand off, didn't get the handoff, and then froze under pressure. Benefit to the Navy defense. They will happily take the result of that play. It's going to be 2nd and 14. A key play, perhaps, here on this opening drive.
From the 31-yard line.
The ball rests at the 31. It's between the hashes as Cincinnati breaks the huddle. They come out in a flex bone set. It's a fake to the fullback.
Setting up the play action. He gets rid of this one.
He had potentially more time than he thought he did. The quarterback a little bit skittish in the pocket. Throws it away quickly. Although no defender was in the backfield. Now 3rd and a mile.
This is the 10th play of this drive.
Spread set for the Bearcats. Single back in a shotgun set. Navy comes out in the quarter. Flung to Wade, and he picks up the first down. A.J. Wade running right to left across your radio dial gets the first down, and Cincinnati has a fresh set of downs at the 13-yard line. Handoff up the gut to Green. He falls forward and then some. Gets the first down +1 on his 2nd carry. Now 1st and goal inside the 5. No huddle still by the Bearcats. Navy trying to adjust. Incomplete pass. A quick decision by the quarterback. A potentially risky decision. Ball falls harmlessly to the turf, and it could be fair to say both teams okay with that play. Now 2nd and goal from the 3.
This is the 13th play of this drive. And the goal line
Shotgun, 2 halfbacks in the backfield. No, it's a pistol and a give up the gut. There's a flag on the play. This could be important. Let's see who it's on. Offsides by the defense. Instead of 3rd and goal from the 6, it's going to be 2nd and goal from the 2 here on the Bearcats' opening drive. Looks like Cincinnati's going to come out with 2 fullbacks and 2 tight ends. They're bringing out the jumbo set. Navy trying to respond in the goal line formation. The give to Green outside to the left, and he's got enough room to get it into the end zone. And on the opening possession of the football game, Cincinnati scores, takes the 6-0 lead, awaiting the extra point.
He makes the PAT. Let's go to the studio for this Reese Davis update.
There's the upset score by the Sun Devils of Arizona State. They beat number 3 Stanford. Sun Devils beating the Cardinal in a key Pac-12 matchup. Kelvin Wright brings it outside the 20 on the kickoff return, and Navy will take over on their opening drive of the game, trying to respond.
Film, and one thing I've seen is his ability to make good decisions. I mean, time after time, he just avoids the mistakes. And when you can do that as a quarterback and as a leader of an offense, you're going to...
1st and 10 from the 27-yard line. Navy comes out in a spread set this time. Shotgun formation. Hayes back to pass, finds the crossing route. Richards picks up 8 yards. 4, maybe 5 yards after the catch. Going to result in 2nd and short.
It's 2nd down, and they're about 2 yards away from the sticks.
Eye tight, twin tight ends, fullback, halfback in the backfield for the midshipmen. Power set, 4 down lineman for Cincinnati. There's the handoff, up the gut he goes, and Bright is brought down. Looks like he might have gained 3 or 4 inches. They'll call it no gain. It's now 3rd and 2.
So it's 3rd down, and they've got about 2 yards to go.
Navy changes tactics, comes out with the spread set. Cincinnati trying to respond in a dime formation. Hayes back to pass, looking, throws on the drag route, and Richards has enough for the 1st down, plus about 9 inches. He gets a 3-yard gain. Going to be a fresh set of downs for the midshipmen at their own 38-yard line here in the early going of the 1st quarter, trailing by 7. Wide trips now for the midshipmen, facing off against 3 down linemen for Cincinnati. Taking their time, surveying the field. Read option play. Hayes on the keeper, picks up positive yards. It's an 8-yard gain on 1st down. It's going to be 2nd and short. Halfway through the 1st quarter. That's Hayes' 1st carry of the game for 8 yards on that read option play.
So it's 2nd down and about 2 yards to go.
Navy breaks the huddle. They come out in the eye tight. They've got twin tight ends in an eye formation. 4 down linemen this time for Cincinnati. Up the gut goes Bright. He's stopped short. The 4 down lineman enough. They had linebackers in the fold. And they contain the midshipman offense to a 3rd and 1, maybe about 1.5, at their own 47-yard line on their first drive of the football game.
It's 3rd down, and this offense is about
Midshipmen breaking the huddle. 4 down linemen, no, 3 down linemen this time for Cincinnati. Navy in the shotgun set. Audibling at the line. Reggie Hayes, machinations. He gets the first down. Defense unable to react. They take them off guard with that 5-wide set and run it up the gut for the first down. Now inside Cincinnati territory.
You've got to be able to have somebody step up and make a big play, whether it's a defensive tackle slipping through a block, a linebacker shooting a gap, a defender in the secondary that's able to make a play on a football. Somebody's got to make a play, and that's what the difference between winning a football game and losing is how you play on 3rd down.
1st and 10 for the midshipmen. Here on their opening drive of the football game, they come out in the shotgun wide trips. Cincinnati responds with 4 down linemen. Back to pass goes Hayes, looking and throws to the halfback. He's tackled quickly. He gets a 2-yard gain. Now going to be 2nd and 8 in the middle of the field at the 45-yard line in between the hashes.
Here's the 8th play of the series.
Navy comes out in a spread set.
5-wide set.
Looking to throw the ball, that appears. Hayes in a shotgun 5 wide. Back to pass goes Reggie Hayes. Surveys the field, hits the underneath man, and Todd McKinley picks up the first down on a 9-yard catch. He looked to be well open. An excellent decision by Reggie Hayes at quarterback. 36-yard line, the marker. Navy trails by 7 here in the early going.
And this is the 9th play of the current drive.
Just before the kickoff spot, 36-yard line, you see the X 1 yard ahead of them. Give up the gut to Bright. The power back picks up 8 yards on the carry. Now going to be 2nd and 2. That's Bright's 3rd rush. He's up to 3 yards a carry. "28-yard line is where the ball sits, towards the middle of the field, a little bit to the left. Navy comes out in a flex bone set. Cincinnati responds with a 4 down lineman in front. Change of pace for Navy. Scott gets the carry up the gut, takes everyone off guard, gets the first down and then some. Now 1st and 10 at Cincinnati's 21-yard line. Here in the closing seconds, the opening frame. Midshipmen continue to march.
1st down, 10 to go. Ball on the 21-yard line.
Flex bone set for the midshipmen. Hayes under center. To give up the gut to Scott goes nowhere. They'll call it no gain. Looks like he might have lost 6 inches. Now going to be 2nd and 10.5 from the 20-yard line. That may end the first quarter. As the sun continues to set here in Annapolis, Navy driving, trying to respond. Facing a key down in distance here, trailing by 7. As we enter the second frame. 2nd and 10 at the 20. 2nd and 10.5. Navy comes out in the eye tight. Twin tight ends, a halfback and a fullback. Sends the wide receiver in motion. Back to pass goes Hayes. Caught over the middle in traffic. Able to get the first down. A risky pass, but it was a completion. And they'll take it. Key play there. Potentially we'll say the fates aligned with them. Shotgun wide trips now, facing off against 4 down linemen. 1st and goal. Up the gut they go with Green. Defense answers, but not before Green gets 4 on the carry. Now going to be 2nd and goal. After the 4-yard gain, 2nd and goal from the 4.
It's 2nd and goal. Ball on the
Cincinnati coming out with 4 down linemen. Navy responding with 2 tight ends and a shotgun single back set. Read option play, give up the gut, touchdown midshipmen. We are an extra point from being tied. Enough time for the kick to be affected by the wind. It goes between the pipes, but that is an 11-mile-per-hour right to left crosswind in today's football game. As you see, the kickoff affected by it. It goes out of the back of the end zone, but not before it drifts well outside the hash marks. Cincinnati going to start the next drive at their own 25, facing 1st and 10 in a tie football game in the early stages of the 2nd frame.
This is the point in the game where you don't want to make any mistakes that give the other guys a reason to feel more.
Cincinnati breaks the huddle in a spread set. They've got 2 tight ends in the backfield. They give it to one of them, and the Navy defense ready and willing. Scott Williams tackled for a 4-yard loss by Ronnie Hampton, the young star middle linebacker for the midshipmen, making the tackle for loss. Now going to be 2nd and 14. Cincinnati has just gotten their 2nd drive underway, and they're already behind the 8 ball.
From their own 21-yard line, it's 2nd down.
Flexbone set this time for the Bearcats. Fakes the give to the fullback, flings it out to the flat, and Green picks up 9 yards on the play. Going to be 3rd down, 5 yards to go. No huddle by the Bearcats, as has been their MO. Trying to take advantage, keeping Navy's personnel on the field. It's another fake, but he throws it away. Desmond Roeder, a little bit skittish there in the pocket, and quickly throws the ball out of bounds on 3rd down. Gives up possession as the Bearcats bring out the punting unit. Kick is up and good. Good distance, but good blocking by Navy. Gives them a 13-yard return by Paul Manson. That's going to set them up near midfield. They're already at their own 47. We've got 6 minutes and 10 seconds before the halftime break. We're locked in a tight contest, 7-7, after the 2 teams scored on their opening possessions. Cincinnati held to a punt on their 2nd drive. Now Navy trying to take control. Up the gut they go on the running play. Bright, the power back, gets almost enough. No, they do call it enough for the 1st down. It's going to be a fresh set of plays at the Cincinnati 43-yard line following the 1st down run. 6-4 in 1st downs. You see there at the bottom of the screen. Navy breaks the huddle here in the early going of the 2nd quarter. They've got the flex bones set, and Cincinnati has 4 down linemen. Man in motion, left to right. Give up the gut to Scott. He picks up 2. Leonard Scott, solid fullback for Navy, picks up a 2-yard gain. Now going to be 2nd down, 8 yards to go. The midshipmen have an excellent kicker. They may already be in scoring range. Second and 8 from the 41-yard line. Navy comes out in a shotgun wide trips. Cincinnati responds with 3 down linemen. Reggie White takes the snap, drops back, looks, throws it to the halfback, but it's incomplete. It's the first incompletion of the game. Hayes went 5 for 5 to start. Now the midshipmen facing third down, 8 yards to go.
Third down now, they need to get it down to the 33. So an empty backfield with 5 wide receivers.
Hayes in a shotgun, 5 wide set. Surveys the defense. Looks at the adjustments. Takes the snap, drops back, throws it underneath to McKinley. He's short of the first down by about 2 yards on the 6-yard catch, but it does get them closer. They're now to the 35-yard line. We'll see if Scott Rawls has the range to make this kick.
So it's 4th down. They'll line it up for a very long field goal attempt. Navy could take the lead with this field goal.
Navy trying to take the lead here in this football game. Kick is up and wide to the right. It's a missed field goal. It didn't curl back in. That 11-mile-an-hour crosswind did not have the desired effect. And as a result, it's a missed field goal, and Cincinnati takes over. About halfway through the second quarter, they're going to start out at their own 35-yard line. Shotgun single back set for the Bearcats. 3 down linemen for the midshipmen. It's a handoff up the gut to Green. Jalen Green picks up 4. He's out to a 5.3-yard average here on his first 4 carries. 2nd and 6 now for Cincinnati. They run no huddle, and the quarterback breaks the tackle, has blockers, breaks it out to the right side, another broken tackle, and it's the 3rd tackle who doesn't tackle him but gets him out of bounds. Desmond Ritter able to get a huge gain on the quarterback scramble inside Navy's 30-yard line. They're going to continue with the no huddle, single back set, 3 wide receivers. Up the gut goes Green. Breaks a couple of tackles, but there's too many defenders. He's only able to get 1 yard as the Navy defense able to bottle him up. 2nd and 9 now from about the 27-yard line. Shotgun set, Ritter back to pass. Flings it left to right on the slant. A.J. Wade picks up 4 on the slant from left to right. It's going to be 3rd down, 4 yards to go. Back to pass goes Ritter, looking, scrambles. There's too much defense there, too many bodies. They hold him to no gain. Navy was ready for the quarterback scramble there on 3rd down. And as a result, we have 2 special teams units out on the field.
Cincinnati is looking to go up by 3.
Kick is up, and this one is good. Cincinnati takes the 3-point lead. It's 10-7 Bearcats here in the second quarter. Navy with a chance to respond with about 3 minutes remaining. You see another important American Conference game there. SMU on the road against Big 12 unit TCU. That's a rivalry game from the old Southwest Conference. The Mustangs trailing 7-0 in the early going. Meanwhile, American Conference versus American Conference, it's a tight affair between East Carolina and Memphis. ECU winning the American Conference last year thanks to Coach Bark. He has left the Pirates, but they still lead Memphis by 7. 2:55 remains in the first half. It's a 10-7 ball game, Cincinnati having gotten the opening kickoff. Wright tackled fairly quickly, inside the 25, but still in decent field position at the 23. That's where the midshipmen will take over. They face the 1st and 10 in their own territory. 5 wide receivers for the midshipmen. Cincinnati responds with 4 down linemen. Reggie Hayes drops back, throws quickly, almost intercepted, but instead in traffic. Richards on the catch. He is free and clear. That is a touchdown. It could have gone either way. It goes the right way if you're a midshipman fan. It is a monster play in tight coverage. It is a huge play in the context of this football game. Touchdown, midshipman.
And that's exactly what this guy's been able to do today.
And we've still got time left here in the second quarter, so this kid could
The aggressive play by Cincinnati's defense goes the wrong way, and the midshipmen lead in this affair. It's a 4-point lead for Navy. Cincinnati bends the knee. They'll start from their own 25.
Momentum swings have been fairly even, and with so little separation, this game can be drastic.
Breaking the huddle are the Bearcats. They come out with a Y offset, pistol set. Up the gut they go, but Navy's ready for it, and Jalen Green tackled for a loss thanks to Ronnie Hampton in the backfield once again. Shout out to all you Orioles fans, including Coach Leon. Baltimore Orioles fans in attendance here in Annapolis. As the pass to the sideline gets 3 yards to Jalen Green. No huddle now on 3rd and 9. All of the crab cakes. All of the Chesapeake Bay as Ritter throws it underneath, well short of the first down. A.J. Wade makes the catch. A timeout by Navy with 2:08 remaining. A 3 and out for the midshipman defense. Lemon-yard return by Manson sets Navy up with a 1st and 10, 1:59 remaining before the halftime break. It's a 4-point Navy lead, and they have the football.
I think right now, they seem to, as I said earlier, they seem to be growing with their confidence with each possession.
Crab cake fans feeling good.
I love to watch a quarterback.
Hayes with the spread set. 5 receivers out on the field. Hits the underneath route to Richards. He drops the pass. It's only the 2nd incompletion for Reggie Hayes. Going to result in 2nd and 10 from the 43.
So it's 2nd and 10. Ball on the 43-yard line. Navy holds a 4-point lead.
Navy in a shotgun. They've got 4 receivers and a tight end. Hayes drops back, looks, and throws it on the slant route. Good for 7.5, 8. They'll call it 10 as he falls forward. It's across the first down marker. That's 110 yards receiving.
They'll spread the field with 5 wide.
5 wide still for Navy. Scramble out to the left side. Hayes with the football. Tackled, but not before he gets the first down. Going to be a fresh set of plays at the 36-yard line. We're at 1:38 on the clock. Navy with 2 timeouts. Back to pass goes Hayes out of the shotgun. Scrambles to his left. Has time. Finds 2 yards on the run. Cincinnati holds him up. He does get 2 yards on the play. There'll be a timeout now as Navy looks to refresh their offense. Refreshing the offense, something that the Orioles could stand to do. So far, they lack the personnel, but a promising young prospect moving up the ranks from their AA team. Now the battle on the field, the midshipman in Annapolis, Hayes in the shotgun. Surveys the field, looks, and it's deflected at the line of scrimmage. Just the third incompletion. 8 out of 11 is Hayes so far. Now facing 3rd and 8 at the 34. They probably are in field goal range, but don't you know that they want more?
3rd down now, and they need to get it to the 26.
Navy coming out with 5 wide receivers. Cincinnati with 4 down linemen. Linebacker keeping up and now dropping back. Back to pass goes Hayes. And he is sacked out of field goal range. Going to be 4th and 16 beyond the 40 with 1:10. And it doesn't look like Cincinnati's calling the timeout. Navy will have an opportunity to take away a few seconds off the clock, probably 20, 25 seconds off the game clock. Cincinnati eschewing the timeout. They don't want to risk the chance of Navy going for it. But this reporter says the chances of Navy going for it, given their track record, about as optimal as Bill Belichick wearing a suit on the sidelines.
Well, he wants to.
4th and 16 from the Cincinnati 41-yard line. Navy holding a 4-point lead. Cincinnati got the ball to start. Navy will get the ball in the second half. They're happy to take time off the clock. It's going to be a delay game, although that matters very little given the field position. Fourth and 21 now. 32 seconds. The clock now stopped following the penalty. We'll see if Navy can angle the ball out of bounds and set themselves up with a decent defensive situation.
He punts it away, and there's no
The kick lands at the 10, goes into the end zone, and with 26 seconds left, we'll see what the Bearcats have in store.
In a game that's this close, you can't afford to waste possessions.
26 seconds on the clock. Cincinnati comes out in a shotgun, single back set. Back to pass goes Ritter, scrambling. 2 defenders there. They tag team him and tackle him for a 1-yard loss. They'll call it a sack. It's 2nd and 11 with 20 seconds remaining. Most coaches happy to go to the locker room at this point. We'll see how risky Cincinnati wants to be. It's a 1-score football game. There's 19 seconds on the clock. The ball at the 19. And that will end the first half. The midshipmen leading 14-10 over the Bearcats, despite Cincinnati getting the opening kickoff. We will rejoin you in about 5 or 6 minutes following this halftime break.
EA Sports NCAA Football 14 halftime show presented by Nissan. Innovation that excites. He's David Pollock here in the studio as always to lend a little perspective to what just went down in the first 30 minutes. So far, so good for both offenses in terms of taking care of the football, but now the defenses are ramping up the sense of urgency in terms of trying to get the ball back to their offense.
Absolutely. You got to find Reese. These ball hawks on defense, they need to find the football. They need to make some big plays, create some turnovers. How about using that hit stick a little bit? How about knocking somebody silly and making them drop the football? I mean, Defense's #1 priority is trying to turn the football over, try to make a big explosive play for your offense so they can do more damage and they can take the ball down the field. So those ball hawks need to show themselves in the second half.
I can only hope that Nessler and Herbstreit will bring the same type of intensity to their call of the second half that David and I brought to the halftime show. Of course, they always do. That's it for us here in the studio. Time to get you back out to the guys for the second half.
We are set to get this second half underway. Cincinnati kicking off to Navy. The midshipmen leading by 4 as we start the second half. The sun now almost set. Decent return by Wright. 27-yard gain gets them out past the 25. No, it's at the 23. That's where the midshipmen begin.
Navy is up 4.
4 down lineman for Cincinnati. It's the perfect response by the Navy offense. They bit hard on the halfback, but the quarterback kept it. Reggie Hayes picks up 9 yards. Going to be every coach's favorite down and distance. 2nd and 1. Almost like starting off with runners at 2nd and 3rd in the first inning.
It's 2nd down now. They're just a few feet away from that first down marker.
Shotgun split big now for the first time today. Navy coming out with 2 halfbacks and 2 tight ends. Hayes on the quarterback keeper, gets positive yards, enough for the first down. Going to be a fresh set of plays for the Navy offense out at their own 37-yard line here on this opening drive of the second half. Night setting on Navy Marine Corps Memorial Stadium.
37-yard line. It's first down.
The trophies of battles won in the Pacific and Atlantic Arena lining the outside of the stadium. Tarawa, Okinawa. Navy, a huge role in the defense of America. Joe Bright on the carry. It's a loss of 1. Going to be 2nd down, 11 yards to go. As we're very early in the second half.
From their own 36-yard line. 2nd down.
Navy with about a 73-yard advantage in yards comes out on 2nd and 11. They've got a single back set in a shotgun formation. Reggie Hayes surveying the defense. Back to pass he goes, finds his halfback Green. Wesley Green out of the backfield with a 4-yard catch. That's his 2nd of the ball game. That's going to set up Navy with 3rd and 7, which is better than 3rd and 11.
From their own 40-yard line. 3rd down. Navy.
Cincinnati comes out with 3 down linemen. Navy in a shotgun set. 4 receivers and a tight end. Back to pass goes Hayes. Throws it to the slant route, but it's short of the first down. And with a 4-point lead, it'll be interesting to see what Navy does. Midshipmen electing to punt. Remember, in League 1, you're allowed 12 4th downs over the course of the entire regular season. The midshipmen choosing not to spend one of those 12 4th downs on this particular possession. They hold the lead and a little bit of the momentum.
Gets it away. It's low.
The punt goes out of bounds. We'll see where they mark it.
Yeah, Brad, that was nice. So now they're looking at a long way to go to even think about a score.
19-yard line. It goes inside the 20. That counts as a punt inside the 20-yard line. Thus the enthusiasm by my fellow announcer, Kirk Herbstreit.
There's still plenty of time to keep running their offense.
19-yard line where Cincinnati takes over. They're in a spread set against a 3-3-5 defense. Back to pass goes Ritter. Throws it near the sideline. Diving catch by A.J. Wade. That's his 5th catch of the ball game. 6.4 yards per catch. He's got 5 of the 8 Cincinnati receptions. Ritter back to pass. Scrambles out to the right side. Finds some running room. Picks up positive yards. The first down. Breaks the tackle and then slides. It's going to be more than enough for the first as Cincinnati continues to march here almost halfway through the third quarter. We've got a 4-point Navy lead. Back to pass goes Ritter, looking, in trouble, flings it on the corner route, and Horn is wide past the defense. Wasn't wide open on the catch, but immediately after the catch, able to break free of the defense, pick up a lot of yards after the catch. It's a 44-yard gain, biggest play of the day on offense for Cincinnati. It's going to set them up with first and goal at the 1.5-yard line. Ritter back to pass, and into the end zone it goes to Willie Horn on the 2-yard touchdown reception. Cincinnati takes the lead for the first time today, ahead 16-14, awaiting the extra point. We're about halfway through the third quarter. Navy will have a chance to respond here following the kickoff. Kick is up and good, and the Bearcats lead by 3. We're here in the second half of this American Conference game. You see there another American Conference team in action, the SMU Mustangs, undefeated, taking on the also undefeated TCU Horned Frogs in a non-conference rivalry game. You see there late in the game, second half, only 3:34 remaining, and East Carolina leads by 3, another key American Conference game that could have an effect on this year's conference race. Cincinnati set to kick off. They have their personnel on the field. Navy set to receive at about the 1.5. Wright takes the ball, works his way up the right sideline, gets out past the 30, almost to the 35. Looks like they may mark it at the 34.5. 206 yards for Navy, 204 yards for Cincinnati. Navy with the football, trailing by 3.
Can be easily overcome, sure, but they have to be thinking if they don't get something going on this series.
Shotgun single back set. It's the shotgun wide trips for the midshipman 4-down lineman for Cincinnati. Up the gut they go with Green. Wesley Green picks up 4. Got to be second down, 6 yards to go. Already out to the 39-yard line, thanks to that good kickoff return. Navy facing 2nd and 6. They come out in the shotgun split big. Cincinnati tries to respond with 4-down linemen. Keeper up the gut. Stumbles and falls forward. Reggie Hayes on the carry. Going to set up 3rd down, 1 yard to go at Navy's 43-yard line. Looks like at about 1.5, a foot and maybe 4 inches. 5 wide receivers for the midshipmen there spreading the defense. Audibles at the line of scrimmage. Quarterback keeper on the run. He's tackled short. Going to be 4th and inches deep into Navy territory. At the no, not quite deep into Navy territory. It is the 44-yard line. It looks like Navy might be going for this 4th down. They have played it safe. They're tired of doing that. They trail by 3. They want this 1st down. Tight formation for the midshipmen. 2 tight ends. Quarterback keeper gets the 1st down. Reggie Hayes able to pick up 5 as the line found a gap in the middle of the defense, able to push forward and get the 1st down and more as Navy has the ball at the 50. Midshipmen continuing with the eye tight. It's a handoff up the gut, and Bright picks up 5. Going to be 2nd and 5. Navy goes no huddle. We'll see how Cincinnati responds. First time Navy's tried to hurry up and play. It's a play-action pass to the tight end. Reggie Henry picks up big yardage. Caught the defense off guard. Able to hit the corner route on the play-action pass. And Reggie Hayes complete to Reggie Henry. RH to RH equals a first down at Cincinnati's 22-yard line here in the closing moments of the third quarter in a one-score football game. First and 10 from the 22-yard line. Midshipman coming out in a shotgun split big. 4-down lineman for Cincinnati. Quarterback keeper Hayes off to the left side, then pitches it to Bright. He picks up an extra 2. They'll call it an 8-yard gain. Now going to be second and short from the 14.
And this play is number 8 on the drive.
14-yard line is where the ball is spotted, and Navy comes out with an eye tight. Hayes under center, hands off up the gut to Bright. He's got the first down and a couple more. It's a 4-yard gain. Going to be first and goal now for the midshipmen. 1:05 remaining in the third quarter. Looks like Navy giving a little bit of rest to some offensive linemen. Every second matters. They may be yellow this play, but more likely to be green next play if Navy gives them a little bit more time. They do. They come out in the split big. It's a run to the left, and Bright picks up 5 yards. Going to be second and goal in the closing seconds of the third quarter.
They're at the 5.
5-yard line, almost exactly, is where the ball is spotted. Navy comes out in a shotgun twin tight end single back set. Read option play, and the quarterback keeper gets them into the paint. Navy leads by 3, awaiting a key extra point. Kick is up, it goes between the pipes, and the midshipmen lead by 4 on the final play of the third frame. We enter the fourth quarter. Navy ahead by 4 at home. Cincinnati set to receive the kickoff. Is up and beyond the end line. Takes no time off the clock. We begin the fourth quarter. Cincinnati coming out in a flex bone set. Man in motion. Fakes the handoff up the gut. Goes over the middle. Wide open on the slant route. Cincy picks up the first down and more. Going to be first and 10 near midfield. A 29-yard reception. But Javon Hayes, the wide receiver for the Bearcats. They're already into Navy territory. Man in motion. Another play action pass. Another receiver who had a step not as open as the play before, and the contact by the Navy defense able to jar the ball loose. That's going to result in a second and 10 from the Navy 46. Single back set, tight end to the weak side as Ritter drops back, completes it to the left. Wilson Huber with a 7-yard catch, going to set up third down, 3 yards to go. SD, always happy to see the Longhorns play well against Oklahoma, but I'll take a 1-point fake victory over a moral victory anytime. No moral victories here as Cincinnati converts the first down. They continue to drive the football down the field. They now have a first down, 10 yards to go inside Navy's 30-yard line. They've got a tight end, 3 wide receivers off to the left. It's a handoff to the left, and elusiveness by the halfback and a couple of broken tackles results in a 19-yard gain by Jalen Green. Cincinnati now inside Navy's 10-yard line. If you like excitement, if you like a good football game, that's what we have. This time, Navy's defense stiffens, stuffs the running back for a loss of 2. Going to be 2nd and goal, but a fair distance from the goal line. SD, I hope that your teams won this past weekend. I know you're not a Buckeye fan, so I can root for your teams. Flexbone set by the Bearcats. 4-down lineman for Navy. Play action pass, quick outlet pass to the running back, and almost to the end zone goes Scott Williams on the 9-yard catch. Going to be 3rd and goal from about the 6-inch line, and Cincinnati going no huddle. Cincinnati stays with the flexbone. Quarterback pitches out, and it's a touchdown by Tom Smith. Cincinnati retakes the lead, but there's lots of time remaining on the clock.
Executed play there by the offense.
Yeah, the option is so tough to defend, especially right near the goal line.
Trying to go up by 3. They'll kick the extra point.
Extra point is up and good. That gives Cincinnati a 3-point lead. SD, the Texas USC 06 Rose Bowl, I feel like unanimously agreed to be one of the top 5, certainly, possibly one of the top 3, maybe even better, games of the last 15, 20 years. You look at the 01 championship between Miami and Ohio State that went to overtime. You look at the Fiesta Bowl between Boise State and Oklahoma. And you look at Texas USC. And no shame in being involved in an extra special game on the losing end. You look at Kentucky Duke in '92, and Kentucky did just as well in recruiting following the loss as they ever did. Sometimes special games result in a benefit for both teams. Reggie Hayes with a monster gain out to the right side on the read option. Good blocking by the slot receiver sets him free. He's able to get up beyond the first down marker and then some. A huge gain down to the Cincinnati 33-yard line already.
It's 1st and 10. Ball on the 33-yard line.
33-yard line is where the ball rests. Navy comes out in a shotgun single back set, tight end off to the right, halfback on the left-hand side. Read option play. Hayes has room to run. Once again, picks up the first down. Once again, picks up 16 yards on the carry. He's out to 13 carries for 90 yards, as it appears that Cincinnati willing to give up quarterback runs in exchange for halfback stops.
First and 10. Ball on the 16-yard.
Close in yardage. Cincinnati has fewer yards, but yet holds the lead, although Navy inside the red zone. Shotgun split big for the midshipman. Quarterback keeper up the gut and into the end zone goes Reggie Hayes on the 16-yard carry. It's good for a Navy lead with 5:40 remaining. Midshipmen awaiting the extra point to go up by 4 themselves.
He looked determined running the football. Nobody
Marine Corps Memorial Stadium. Your United States Naval Academy leads by 4. 5:40 on the clock. The ball goes beyond the end line, and Cincinnati will take over at their 25 behind here in the final frame. SD, I've no hatred for the Lakers, no disposition towards or against the Lakers, but as a sports historian, I have eagerly looked forward to the opportunity to tell my child, yes, at one point the Lakers were better than the Clippers. Horn is wide open on the flag route out to the right side. Willie Horn picks up 43 yards, a massive gain. He's got 4 catches for 133 yards. The superstar player for Cincinnati's offense today. No huddle by the Bearcats, staying with the flexbone set. Man in motion. Quarterback doesn't know what to do. Looks like he froze in the backfield. Wasn't able to complete his motion. And as a result, Navy gets a loss on the play of 3 yards. Going to be 2nd and 13 from the 35. Yeah, honestly, nothing against the Lakers at all, but just from flipping the script as a neutral, could be entertaining to see the Kings, the Suns, the Clippers doing well. Run by Cincinnati picks up 14 yards. Jalen Green, the halfback, he's got 10 carries for 62 yards, a 6.2 yard average. He's been opportunistic for the Cincinnati Bearcats. This time, Jalen Green locked up in the backfield. An opportunistic defense this time for the midshipman, as the D tackle able to break free of his block and tackle Green in the backfield. Good swim move by the interior lineman of the midshipman. Second and 13 now. Key play for both sides of the ball. 4:44 on the clock. Incomplete pass. There's a flag on the play. Let's see who it's on. Roughing the passer on the defense is going to set up Cincinnati with a fresh set of downs at the Navy 12-yard line. 12-yard line, the marker. 4:39, an eternity on the clock, with both teams still possessing 3 timeouts. A lot can happen. No predictions necessary in this tight football game. Draw play, breaks the tackle, and brought down after a gain of 8. Going to be 2nd and 2, well inside the 10-yard line. They're going to spot it about the 4. 2nd and 2 from the 4 for the Bearcats. The give on the halfback run out to the wide side of the field, but the Navy defense responding accurately and acutely, able to tackle him for a 1-yard loss. Now going to be a big 3rd and 3 from the 5-yard line. Is there enough time for Cincinnati to kick it from here if they don't make it? I wonder. Goal line defense by the midshipmen responding. They are selling out. Pistol set by Cincinnati. Machinations at the line. Play action pass and complete on the corner route. Wilson Huber wide open in the corner of the end zone. Picks up 6 points for the Bearcats. They retake the lead. The lead has changed hands throughout the football game. Back and forth they go. Now with 3:56, Cincinnati holding a 3-point lead. Navy with the football and 3 timeouts. You see there another American Conference game. East Carolina holding trailing by 1 against Memphis. Only 1:08 on the clock. That is a game that could have a huge impact on the American Conference race. SMU in non-conference play taking on TCU, leading the favored TCU Horned Frogs. TCU out to a 4-0 start, but trailing SMU out of the American Conference.
Cincinnati, kick this one off.
The goal line, the kick goes, and Manson brings it out from 0, gets it to the 30-yard line. That's where Navy's going to take over, trailing by 3, 3:52 on the clock, and 3 timeouts.
So it's time to see this offense go to work again.
This defense couldn't stop them from moving the ball and inevitably finding the end zone.
Shotgun wide trips for the midshipman. Reggie Hayes has played excellently today. You see he's heated up. He gets good yardage on the carry. It's a 7-yard gain. Going to be 2nd and 3. Lots of options for the Navy offense. They go no huddle. They give it up the gut. They've got the first down by Green. It's a 5-yard carry. Fresh set of downs for the midshipmen. They're out to their own 42-yard line, trailing by 3.
First down, 10 yards to go. Ball on the 42. Quarterback all by himself.
5 wide receivers for the midshipmen, 4 down linemen for Cincinnati. Hayes back to pass, surveys, throws on the drag route, picks up 3 to Vince Richards. The long-time starter for the midshipmen having a good day so far with 7 catches for 119 yards. They stay with a 5 wide. They stay no huddle. And it's intercepted by Horn. Horn with the pick. It's the first turnover of the ball game. Heavy coverage on the play. Cincinnati on the interception with 3:04 holding the lead. It'll be up to the Navy defense to give their offense a second chance. Coach Ninja goes straight to the adjustments. Wants to make sure he optimizes his defensive performance given the scenario. Cincinnati's going to start with the ball in Navy territory at the 47-yard line.
Holds a field goal lead.
Man in motion left to right. Spread set. Ritter, back to pass, scrambles, picks up positive yards. It's a 6-yard gain. Staying with the no huddle is Cincinnati. They've been no huddle for much of the game, and despite the fact that the clock is their friend, they continue in the no huddle now. But it does look like they're in the hurry up and wait mindset. Content to keep the defense on the field, but also content to milk the clock. Back to pass goes Ritter. Rolls to his right, scrambles out to his right, picks up positive yards, but not enough for the first down. Going to be a huge 3rd and 2 as Navy uses their first timeout. SD, the answer to your question, who's better? My answer is the graduate of USF, Bill Russell. Multiple receivers, but the quarterback's under center. Men in motion left to right. Ritter drops back and throws the dump off to Huber. It gets the first down. There's 2:05 on the clock. No huddle once again by Cincinnati. Ritter back to pass. And under pressure, complete to Horn. It was heavy coverage. There were 2 defenders there. There was heavy pressure. It was a quick throw. It was a risky throw, but it's complete inside the 15. And they hike it quickly despite the fact that the clock is their friend. And now Navy the opportunity to call a timeout. They have to hold Cincinnati to a field goal.
It's 2nd and 7. Ball on the 10. Just under 2 to go in the game.
It's a pistol full house. Green goes up the gut, but he's met by multiple defenders. Navy responds and holds them to a 1-yard gain, uses their final timeout. Now a major 3rd and 6 from the 10-yard line.
And this play is number 8 on the drive.
Doesn't get any bigger than this. They break the huddle. Cincinnati in a shotgun set. Navy with 3 down linemen. Back to pass goes Ritter. Scrambles to his left, almost tackled, and then indeed tackled. Navy does what they have to do. It's going to cost them 35 seconds, but it's going to result in a field goal. It is the only chance they had, and they take it thanks to their defensive performance here on 1st, 2nd, and 3rd down inside their own 20.
This isn't much more than an extra point.
Cincinnati likely to take as much time off the clock. As we said, it'll cost Navy 30 seconds, but they'll have the ball with about a minute left, and a touchdown will win it. They snap it late, the kick is up and good, and indeed, Navy needs more than a field goal. But they do get the ball back. They have a chance.
Davis ready to kick. Excellent kick. This one's going to be down in the end zone for a touchback. Navy's coaches have got to be confident in the fact that they've got a
Reggie Hayes, 12 out of 16 today. His only mistake, the one most recent. 5 wide receivers as Navy doesn't have time to mull about. Hayes drops back, scrambles to his left, looks, throws it deep, and almost complete. It would have been a huge gain. The wide receiver was wide open, but the throw just a little bit off target. However, way better than an interception. Navy still with 60 seconds. Downs don't matter at this point. Back to pass goes Hayes. Hits Richards on a diving 20-yard catch over the middle. That's going to momentarily stop the clock. That's going to allow Navy to reset. They've only run 2 plays. Nobody's tired right now. Hayes drops back, scrambles to his left. Has space, enough to get the first down. Gets out of bounds, stops the clock with 44 seconds left. Navy inside the 35. Reggie Hayes, 134 yards rushing today. 44 seconds are on the clock. As Sir Alex Ferguson would say, it is squeaky bum time. 34-yard line, Hayes is exhausted. This is an important play. Hayes is exhausted for Navy. That limits their options. They can give him 20 seconds of rest. That's about it. That'll get him to orange, possibly yellow. They don't have any choice but to keep him on the field. They come out of the 34-yard line on 1st and 10.
A quarterback in the gun with 5 receivers.
Hayes drops back, surveys the field, under pressure, and throws the ball away. There's a flag on the play, probably intentional grounding. He was just inside the tackle when he made the throw. It's going to cost them a down and the distance. It's going to result in 2nd and 26 from the 50. The down and distance doesn't matter as much as the yardage, as there's now 39 seconds remaining. The question is not whether or not they convert, whether or not they can convert 2nd and 26. The question is whether or not they can score from the 50 in 39 seconds. Spread set for the midshipman. Ball at the midfield stripe. Hayes drops back, and he's sacked. The one thing Navy could ill afford to have happen. It's going to take time off the clock. It doesn't eliminate their chances, but it puts a huge damper on them. They have to go no huddle. It's 3rd and 36. Hayes is exhausted. Back to pass he goes and flings it deep. It's caught by Richards. He's got the first down. Into the end zone he goes. He doesn't go into the end zone yet. He takes all the time off the clock. It is a massive, massive 60-yard touchdown catch by Vince Richards, the senior Vince Richards, the multi-year starter, the wide receiver of impact for Navy. This is not a team known for its wide receivers, but Vince Richards, the longtime starter, comes up with a massive, massive play with just 13 seconds remaining. Hayes was exhausted. Under normal circumstances, Navy would have never run that play. They had no choice but to. Hayes had to avoid any contact. He did. He had to throw it with faith. He was exhausted. There was every chance for him to be inaccurate, but Navy didn't have any choice. They had to have faith in Reggie Hayes. They had to have faith in Vince Richards. They chucked it up, and it worked. And now, with just 13 seconds on the clock, Cincinnati in desperation mode.
In a very tight football game. And who's going to come to the forefront? We'll see who's got the most leadership.
Shotgun, of course, as you would expect. Ritter drops back. They throw a screen pass. Navy ready for it. And with 9 seconds, they call their first time out. Beyond desperation mode. It's a 1-point ball game. Navy having miraculously reclaimed the lead on that 60-yard touchdown pass. Prayers answered by Vince Richards and Reggie Hayes. Shotgun set for the Bearcats. Ritter back to pass. Surveys the field. And doesn't throw it. Had to throw it. Doesn't throw it. With 2 seconds left, Cincinnati down to their last draw. One more shot. 18-yard line, the marker.
Third down and very long. And behind in this ball game in the fourth quarter, they've got to have this one.
This is it. All right, folks, here's your ball game. Ritter back to pass. Rolls to his left, chucks it deep, underthrown, deflected, and finally hits the turf. That will end the ball game. Navy escapes by the skin of their teeth, by a matter of faith, by a chuck and heave and pray play by Reggie Hayes to Vince Richards. Vince Richards able to make the catch for a 60-yard touchdown with just 13 seconds remaining when it looked like all hope was lost. Reggie Hayes, the player of the game, 243 yards passing and over 100 yards rushing. Easily the player of the game as Navy escapes 35-34. Multiple close plays. A big touchdown catch in the second half by Navy that could have been intercepted, but he broke free of the defense when he jumped the route. We thought that might have been the closest play of the game, but it wasn't. The closest play of the game came with just 13 seconds left. These two teams battled toe-to-toe, head-to-head. And when it was all said and done, there's the play. Vince Richards over the middle on desperation mode, able to break free of the defense and find his way into the end zone with just 13 seconds. Does a little imitation of the Miracle at the Meadowlands Part 2. And Navy escapes. And that is the word, escapes. 35-34 over a very surprisingly game Cincinnati Bearcats. Navy probably thankful they were at home. They win 35-34 by the narrowest of margins, and they are back on the winning track. We're going to take a look here at the final game stats You see there, ESPN Instant Classic. Bear in mind that Coach Ninja has several, many seasons under his belt. It counts a lot for them to get an ESPN Classic. You see the yardage there, pretty close. You see the rushing, both teams fairly balanced between rushing and passing. Both teams having a few more rushes than passes. Both teams successful on the ground as well as through the air, although Navy did it on fewer attempts passing. You see the third down percentage fairly close. You see the turnovers only 1-0 as Navy throws the one interception. That enabled the Bearcats to get back into the game, and they almost pulled it off, but Navy had one more ace up their sleeve. The midshipmen hold the edge in time of possession, but much of that coming before the final ticks. When it came down to it, it wasn't about time of possession. It was about faith in multiple-year starters. Reggie Hayes, a multiple-year starter at quarterback. Vince Richards, even longer on the field at wide receiver. This was an exhausted quarterback who had to get rid of the ball, who had to throw it in faith. And wouldn't you know it, Vince Richards makes the play of the game. Navy escapes 35-34. That's week 5 in League 1 action here in season 16. We're going to take a look at what week 6 holds in store for us. We know we have one user game, at least one user game. So it's unpredictable as to which night these games will be played. Normally they're played on Friday, but user games can throw a wrench into the system. We have 10 users in this dynasty. Next week, it is 2 user games. It is Indiana at Navy. That's Coach Wk5 at Coach Ninja. Indiana at Navy. That is Coach Soccer Pro at Syracuse. My Syracuse Orange. Play-by-play provided by Coach Ninja. Just as Navy's game against Wk5, I will provide the play-by-play for that. Normally we play on Friday nights, but given the fact that both games are user games, it's unpredictable as to when those games will be played. We hope you'll activate notifications so that you'll know when those games are played. We hope you've enjoyed this broadcast. We will bring you more of the same in week 6 of League 1 action. An exciting, thrilling finish between Navy and Cincinnati, and 2 user games next week. Thank you for joining us. We hope you have an excellent week. Kick its ass.